Six pack. Those boys right there. Does yeah, I'm really gonna change during the middle of summer, get that done and twist up.
Oh.
I can see.
Are we at?
There it is.
Oh, there he is.
Well, I'm You can't have one
I'll
of
leave
mine,
it
you
on,
want?
I'll leave it on.
Well, I wouldn't fit that one.
Yeah. Me either.
Well, I'm gonna take that back to mine. What you got in that for you? Instead of Easter eggs, there are today.
There's more chocolate.
She has eggs on this side.
Yeah, I think so.
I reviewed it before.
So yeah, she said she had more eggs in her.
Unless that's something
real ones
different,
or
I think I
last
I didn't just now look at it.
Tell her to hit me up afterwards and I'll take some home because I got a bunch of candy.
It shows stuff in there.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
She stuffed them all.
There's stuff.
Oh, you stuffed them. Okay.
Well, I stuff like
But we do need
500
more
raw.
empty eggs.
But,
Really?
yeah.
We don't have 10,000 yet?
We're well over 10,000.
But half, I still have a bag of candy. I get excited when I bought more because
We've been squeezing the Easter rabbit out here. More eggs, more eggs.
I just took sandwich bags, put
You know
them in
what?
egg sandwich bags.
So do experience some
I've got
chicken now.
some. You have more?
Yeah, I took,
Do you want to run
I,
by after the
yeah,
meeting?
Mike again, yeah.
I'm real curious.
so.
Yeah.
Who's had the chickens working
I just been
overtime?
taking that big candy.
Yeah, so there's more plastic.
All I know, you
Seriously?
need matching tops and bottoms of the eggs. There must be, I don't know, 3 or 4 different style eggs.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, at least.
At least.
And it's like, sometimes you can go through 20 before you find ones that match. I don't know. If you got them matching, it's not bad. You just put them together and put candy in them.
Yes.
But boy, when you have to hunt, it's like, so we actually had some people hunting out and matching. Well, that helped as long, but it's hard to keep up.
That's why they
We
call it
stuff
Easter
faster
egg.
than you hunt it.
Yeah.
That's why they call it Easter egg hunting.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. 10,000.
Nothing's easy, David.
I know. That was,
Everywhere I see eggs.
That's right.
eggs,
Yeah.
prizes, toys, prizes.
You tell them. Oh, you're going to be here.
And there's more out in the, the other part.
They've all been stuffed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I was saying, I got extra candy, but I ran out of eggs, so.
Yeah, we need more plastic eggs, because we still have a lot.
I already hit up the dollar store account.
Look around, there's-
If I buy 2 cases, if I get them at a discount.
Right.
Oh, I know, I don't know what they are. I walked through Walmart the other day, just happened to, I looked, oh, there's them eggs out. What the, I have no, but like I said, we need matching ones.
Yeah, we need,
probably bought pantyhose.
we need,
That's why I laughed. I was like, do they still come that way?
They were talking about those.
We were laughing about that.
Tabs where they're still connected.
What's the answer? Do they come out?
They came connected,
Yeah.
They got rid of those years ago.
Oh, the big eggs.
but they were hinged.
I'm not an expert on that. I don't want to be.
Yeah,
Right.
ours are all colored. They were white ones. Yeah, I don't know.
I should do
I don't think so.
Oh, were they colored?
And they were like, yeah,
I thought they were white. I don't know.
you were wearing pantyhose?
No. Somebody gave me a couple of them when I was a kid, though. At Easter time, the candy. So I'm like, I'll take the candy.
That's been how long?
No, I have more candy.
I'm looking to see if they're still available in the eggs. Now I gotta know.
They are.
Trivia question.
Wikipedia.
But that's what you're getting for Christmas if they do.
Oh,
They do.
okay. Let's start the meeting.
It won't.
Call the meeting order.
I told you.
Sim,
Here.
Mears,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Bacon, I am present. Stand for the
Okay.
pledge.
allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just one thing before we get started.
That reminds me of Mr. Trump.
How
he was sweeter than I ever told you. He said naked at the Super Bowl.
Okay, I guess the first thing we have on the agenda is Doug Kramer.
All right, thank you. I am Doug Kramer from Kramer and Associates, and I'm here to sort of clarify things on the improvements for the ramps. I have a copy here of what's labeled preliminary. This shows the south ramp. And I will maybe use Dale's copy here to sort of show you what this is. And I will tell you that it's marked very preliminary, so we may even have the name of another township or something in here occasionally or something like that as we make the copies of the notes that are general notes. But the detail here is for the sidewalk, which I'd like to go outside and we'll talk about the sidewalks, and everybody's welcome to come along, everyone, and all your eggs and whatever, but I thought it was productive to talk outside. This is a picture of the ramp. Again, shows the door here, because we were talking about the south one at this time. This shows a detail of the ramp cut through as a cross section. So we're all together on that, like a slice of bread. This is the demolition plan for what's done, to be done there. And you can see that we have measured up and added this one on the east side out here. In. And this is more or less the plan with some detailed notes. So I just have a few questions about the some of the details as we're switching to the east side here. That I think would just be easier to go out and just point around and so forth. It's a beautiful night. If it isn't, we could do it, but I think it's a perfect night to just go out there for just a minute if we can. I don't know how you formally do that.
We're just gonna go outside. We're just gonna make.
Don't get my notes here.
You're fine, Kate.
I'm just, you reviewed the ramp out there for the minutes.
No, he said that was preliminary. That was good.
Let me take off there.
This is all we
Could do that. Yeah. I think I might carry it out here. So
You're fine.
Does anyone who speak have to give you a kiss or anything? Or get to?
That's an inside joke.
See what now? What we're doing.
You know what you said? You said
I had to run somebody all the way down. I don't know. My brother said, how you call us? Two of us phone calls from here. He's, I don't know what they were about. You know what the number is? His number. No, can we, the number that's called. But he closed for, he said we just go check to make sure your number is the primary number. That's all. I called up there and the sergeant was busy, so after this, I'm gonna call back up there.
When it comes to me, if you know what number that is, will be like a 225 number.
It should be.
Because I see how to prioritize things on the phone.
Okay.
And since I explain that number, I'll prioritize it.
When I call up there again to speak with him, I will ask him and how it will come through on your end.
Yeah, and then I'll make sure, because I'm able to do that with like 5 numbers. It'll trump everything else.
Gotcha.
I don't want to get arrested in here.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Look,
Nothing.
what are you talking about?
Start that way.
You don't wanna look. Just don't look.
Whatever it was called, before it used to have slow song stuff, so now I did all that from the ground up. The police department actually started training.
Shouldn't do either. We win both.
Okay.
There's not much you can do.
Yeah.
To buy a few hundred.
John Patrick. So then they said that she's somewhere else, because he's a carrier to
The new one?
so big.
So she so then they were going to go, oh, good. Well, by the time they were all getting ready, because I was off the park places with Ken. Yeah.
So that's why I'm looking over there.
He's only 7 months old.
Yeah, I know.
That microphone's right above.
That's okay. We're speaking in code.
Microphone's up here, the camera's here.
I'm gonna show off a minute. I'm gonna show off a minute. When I came home to Wednesday.
Okay, 2-year-old.
Hey, girl.
Yeah, the one. Yeah, it's exactly. She goes by Kaya. She's the one I got. She was released for the. We didn't know she had 6 kids. She's 20. They ended up.
So basically,
Since all we have is pasture access. So we said, you guys are bowling? I want to go bowling. So then we took them to kind of bowling. So we didn't go to any of them. No, they sold hardware.
Here's some her neighbors for TJ Hoking. Chiropractor.
I don't ever watch TV.
He also has an airplane.
My friend tried to tell me that he said he used to live in the house across the street from
And he thinks it's real.
I said, no, you're not. I don't know. See, if they would just change it would be so fun. There needs to be actors on all of it. I like terrible. And I'm like, just go this way.
Is it your birthday?
Nope. No, it wasn't. I got the biggest paycheck I've had. But finding myself to be studying. I came home and sit on my couch.
That's awesome.
And it came out at SHOT Show. It was introduced at SHOT
Now
Show.
she just ignores us. So now she's yelling at her. She just keeps on going thinking it's wrong. Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's thinner and more concealable. So I mentioned that it's kind of a good idea. Next thing I know, there, I have not yet, I haven't cleaned it.
Yeah.
So it's still got cosmic on it. But I was going to take it out tonight, but it's too much.
Yeah.
I'll try to get out tomorrow. So if you're on duty, stop by. Shoot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, stop by. You've seen that. Or-
Probably pictures of it. I don't think I've been over there yet.
Yeah, stop by with you. See how
Are you?
how bad
That online
it's
bill.
gone. It can't be terrible. The one thing I don't like is the frame does not go all the way to the end of the slide.
Oh, okay.
The block is always done.
I'm glad you said that.
I thought it looked a little bit. I was like, fine.
You can actually press check it from the end of the slide. if you wanted to put your finger over the barrel.
We'll be here tomorrow.
Sounds like a good idea.
I'm not a fan of that. I have a very good friend who was fresh checking a gun. Tucked his finger.
No, it's not set up
And he did it
through the
at the
township,
range.
through your bank.
He did it
Oh,
at
that's
point
the one.
blank.
Yeah.
From
No
my
kidding.
bank.
They puts the gun down, he said, Ron, I think we need to go to the hospital.
Log on to the banking account and where's it?
It was that calm.
Yeah, same thing, yeah.
That was like, who was it, the DEA agent who shot himself in the foot in the middle of the class?
Yeah. Yeah. How do you do that? And I've been teaching CCW classes for years, and I've never had a missing in a class.
I mean, just know what you're.
Know what's around you. Yeah, stop by him. See what. I just picked up 1,200 rounds, so I'm dying to get rid of some of them.
Right?
Right?
I got,
That have written back. We'll see if finally
I picked about 200 rounds for sci-fi stuff.
she's going to think it's going to.
Guy wanted $100 cash. He goes, $100 cash. He said,
Here you go.
sweet, that's target practice.
No, I picked up 1,200 rounds for $200. And it's just Remington, 115 grain, you know, just stuff to throw down range. Nothing that I carry on duty.
You came in your house and that's the only thing you had.
So someone comes in my house, they're,
No, I'm speaking for the average person.
just announce yourself loud.
Because you don't have enough.
I still believe that those things are on the everybody knows that sound.
She's literally commuting.
That's what he said.
Everybody knows. Oh, shit, what's that?
There's no mistake in that sound.
And that is bedside. Nothing to think about it.
No.
There's nothing to think about. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, you choose to carry it. May not be that Mossberg today, 870. Who doesn't have an 870? Some salt in it. My first round. Second one, salt. That, the third round.
He laughed at me and left. Had to do it again on the second.
I don't want to do that. That's the half. It doesn't go.
I can't start somebody for real.
You don't do it.
Three.
Oh,
He's a sergeant. Not.
And I mean, if I fire him.
That's not duty I would want. I don't know why he's doing it at 56 years old. He's a sergeant, 56 years old, still driving.
because the second he probably stops, he doesn't know what to do. How long has he been doing it?
Only about 15 years. It's really a third career for him. He owns McDonald's stores. In fact, he's very famous. He owns the $2 million store.
Oh, really?
That was him that got sued for the hot coffee. Yeah, that was his store. So after that, he said, I'm going to waited.
I don't know where.
How old was Jim when he went to the academy?
Must have 40.
Yeah, he was.
Even though most people are slowing down.
I'm so glad you're killing that.
54.
Well, I don't want to listen to all that, so.
Amanda's been gone 12 years, so he was.
She'd have to make it up again.
Oh, yeah, from her.
Yeah.
And graduated second.
Well, I mean, I can tell you, just not here.
Tell me that.
Right.
I'm telling you. You're not the one I was telling. I mean, the city. Are there any empty plastic ones I can sit here and sell?
Oh, stop.
Okay.
It's been.
It was fun, I liked it. I want to do more.
She was sitting there watching TV and she stopped me. Next thing I know, it's like a woman talking.
I wish. A little further, there's no direct routes.
No matter yet, punch me in the face, and then you, then we wouldn't even cross.
Yeah, seriously, stop by. I'm off tomorrow. I know I have a couple things going on. Not anything that's gonna be, if the truck's there, I'm there. Stop by. Go out back for a while. Throw a couple hundred around.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. As long as you have your radio on.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And you'll be lucky.
That's all he's scared of, is he knows that we'll actually.
Is that where it came from?
Right?
13 up here. Is it? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. How have you been?
So, freeman's imagination.
So we need to scratch out where it says the spectrum.
Seriously?
Yeah, yeah.
We'll need to cross that out, or at least at no cost.
Which I'm totally cool with.
that out.
Take the at no cost out.
Right.
It's $39,532.53.
Looks like a small man. You can try.
So that 39 is going to be every time.
That's what he said.
I was telling Mike there, we take a cruise every day.
Oh, you're coming to.
Yeah, I was surprised there was really that much left.
Yeah.
Beanie Babies.
Now, would you be getting rid of it from there too, once they get the stuff off of it, or just goes to Dove Golf?
I think the insurance will go pick it up.
Okay.
Because they have somebody that takes practice.
Yeah, they usually go to that. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't supposed to pick it back up.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, but it got delivered the next day.
Used at one time. And a couple of them.
Did you see your, on one side,
Okay,
it's got your
I don't think it already
pictures
was
in
in
here, and the other one is just your name. But it doesn't matter if you look down at the, please line.
So, a bunch of kids go around everywhere.
It takes us 6 hours to clean up a room.
That was very settlement. She insisted on it.
I didn't know she was my daughter.
Understood that their senior year.
They're still developing and she's 2 years older.
I think he helped my server before it when we presented. I didn't take my stuff home to do it. For at least what I could because.
Yeah, that was all my daughters.
It is kind of old.
Yeah.
Laying in the grass, that's in the good.
That's something that's 10 years past. It makes it hard for you guys.
The big ones, the beanie babies are for the teens.
All right, unless you need, okay, no, that's fine.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Oh, we're not done?
I gave
Well, yeah, pretty
right
much.
before the end, just made a couple bunch of candy.
Probably make one of
And
those.
then,
Just
she
exactly
said, yeah, and she said, could you get some
to do
plastic
that
eggs?
side, leave
Yeah.
that side alone.
Plastic eggs. Then I
I'm
did
gonna go
candy.
do that now.
Yeah, they won't stick.
He said he
So
could
I
be on
got
his way.
excited and I bought more candy for, and then I bought more eggs.
Is there a cost involved or we're just doing?
No, we're just kind of doing the preliminary for now. Oh, it's all fine. I was gonna move that. Okay.
So I saw Walmart for like $30, you can buy 285 eggs.
Move project from the south side of building.
To the east, you said north.
I told them east first time around.
That makes them like,
Keep your eyes on the north side.
Okay, sure.
I would say that we expect schedule-wise that this can be
I
done
found it kind of,
early this summer, but I'm not sure that I can nail it down any better than that. By the time we get our inspections and approvals on the plans, we have to get them approved by the funding people and so forth. So we'll see about that, but
so-
they're this year.
I guess we would, what, just make a preliminary resolution that we would do it on this side over here. And we've kind of covered, we probably don't need to go into all the details of what we covered, do we? Or-
I would think so.
Well, we don't have, no.
Just
We kind of threw out what we were thinking in options, but some of the stuff you gotta check out. So I guess we need a motion
To move the handicap
Move the
ramp
handicap route.
project from the south side of the building to the east
No,
side.
not moving.
we're not gonna bother that
Well, not
south.
move,
We're
yeah.
gonna, I wanna make a
Re-
motion that we install a handicap ramp on the east side of our building.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Second. Price,
Yes.
Mears.
Yes.
Sim.
Yes. And I don't know, I guess that could, you're gonna check into it, probably, it wouldn't exactly be a ramp, but it may include a canopy over there.
Right, and we'll check into that.
I guess maybe we should have mentioned that, because we got a canopy over the other one, and that would protect it, so it's not slick up on the top here, right outside the door.
Oh, okay.
So, I guess that's not exactly a ramp, that's why I was thinking we ought
And
to.
we're also gonna be having some north side wind barrier there, a wall of some sort, we're gonna have that in there also.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, I'll leave it. I would sure love to hear about 15,000 eggs or whatever. But I get a lot of these, and so I might actually.
You're welcome to leave, or you're welcome to stay, whatever you wanna do, that's
All
all
right, I can resist the egg dog.
Okay. That's fine, thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. We need to accept the minutes from the March 12th meeting.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from the March 12th, 2019 trustee meeting.
Second.
Mears,
Yes.
Sim,
Yes.
Price.
Yes.
Okay. Payment of bills. Is there any questions or anything about
No.
the bills?
Nope.
I so move, we pay the bills.
Second.
Sim,
Yes.
Mears,
Yes.
Price.
Yes.
And then also in your cash summary by fund, it's on both sides. The one side is only for March, the other side is year-to-date for anyone's information on their report. Okay, New Lebanon and Brookville fire reports were in with the checks to be signed for you trustees to review, along with the bank reconciliation that needs to be signed by all. May 7th is primary election that will be held here at the township. MCTA was canceled for the Harriet Clay that we were gonna co-host on May 16th. Harrison Township said they really wanted that date, so Steve Wolf went ahead and let them have it, and Harriet and Clay will co-host in 2020. And you have the list of all the MCTA dates there for the different townships. 941, state and school districts, courtesy withholdings all been paid. We met for the WRCG. I am actually gonna volunteer to be the treasurer for the WRCG, the volunteer service. I went up April 2nd and signed the signature card over. I have emailed all the members to give them the account balance. There was $1,225 and some change. No activity for the last, I think since 16, no invoices have been sent out. So the account was inactive.
Just so everybody knows, WRCG is Western Regional Council of Governments, that's what it stands for, and that they group together to get trash service. Because getting a larger group, they get a better bid on trash. So, and that's one of the things. There's other things they could do. That's the main thing get done.
I threw in $5 just to keep the account up and going, so there'd be no fees.
So it's not inactive and
Yeah,
goes to the state.
Mhm. And remember, May 6th, it'll be held at Jackson Township. Then we'll be actually electing a chairperson, secretary, treasurer, of course, is all, I volunteered for that. The annual meeting of the county engineers is Wednesday, April 24th. If you would like to go, you need to RSVP. By April 17th, Kate and I have already put in our reservation. Paul Gruner usually gives a PowerPoint, and generally another speaker is there as well. The fire and EMS contract meeting that was to be held at Brookville was canceled. No date has been set at this time. Otarma Insurance. It's usually due the first week in April. I emailed my contact. Due to the new underwriting program, the underwriters are behind on their renewal quotes. I did receive it April 3rd. Usually it's due April 4th. You will see in your packet, also thrown in there, we had the property appraisal, and I gave the road and the police a copy as well, since this is gonna affect your budget on what we owe. You'll see the change in value from 17, 18, and 19. The administration went up 1.73% change in value, and that is from 17, not 18. The maintenance garage went up 73.28%. So in 2017, it was valued at $208,000. Now it is valued at $373,000. The salt bin decreased 1.62%.
That
So-
guy that did that appraisal really didn't make any comment, did he, about that? I don't know what he seen as the big change, that's interesting.
Yeah, 73.28%.
Wow, because I was there when he did that.
I think that I would challenge that, you know, when homeowners do, when it's over 10%, there's an automatic challenge there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a large.
I would say he's made a math mistake, there's no, I was over there, it's not that.
Like I said, you would have thought he would have made,
Does that include machinery or something that's stored in there?
It's just
Buildings.
probably
That's
God.
real estate, I think that's just real estate.
I think we need to look into that.
Yeah, I think I would,
because that's just.
I would,
There's no way that you can, there's no way that you can up the percentage by 73% over an existing building unless you built a new one.
They say if it's over 10%, we need to be looking into it.
yeah. Yeah, I think we ought to
More
actually
than
look
looking
at
into it.
Yeah, 70%.
that appraiser was actually.
I don't want him
out
coming to
there.
my house.
Right, yeah.
He was from.
Here's the appraisal report, so I'll put that back in the drawer for you trustees to review and contact Otarma.
Yeah.
The problem that we have now, which I'll contact Otarma because our premium is due, so we're gonna have to.
Maybe he got cold that morning, because it was a cold morning.
Well, we currently have a $4 million coverage. I remember the price at one time even, I'd have to go back through records, but I'm thinking 19,000, and it's just continually gone up. So I asked him if we could bump back down to the 3 million. They said 50% of the membership, which is a little bit over 1,000, have the 3 million. The other 50% have 4 million up to 10 million. It usually depends upon the size of the township and the exposures. We do not have a fire department. We contract that. We don't have water, sewer. We do have police and zoning, but Otarma said we could bump down to 3 million if you want. That would save on the cost. So at 4 million, the cost would be, if we stayed as is, $28,293. If we bump down to 3 million, it'd be $26,954. The auto deductibles, we have a 500. If we increase that to $1,000, you're only saving $262 a year. So
Well, that's the other question about this. Even though it went up 73%, how much variation is that gonna make in our policy cost?
Okay.
You know, I mean, maybe if
Tremendous.
it's, well, if it's not a large amount, it may be okay to leave it there.
Well, I still
You know.
think we ought to investigate.
Well, we should, I'm not, sure, certainly, but I'm just saying, if it's a small amount, okay, maybe it should
It's
be.
just a nice little letter to ask him to explain the.
Oh, that's fine, absolutely. But you know, if it's only $20 a year extra, then I'd say leave it alone. You know, I mean,
The savings between the 3 and the 4 wasn't very much.
no, that's what I was thinking. That's why I caught on to that, thinking, well, okay, maybe this wouldn't vary a lot either, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will call and
How do you get your 4?
get that information, but we probably will have to have a special meeting then.
Yeah, we need to table this.
Okay. And we'll have a special meeting. And you can see the breakdowns there from 18 and 19, the contribution at 4 million was $27,080. So staying at the 4 million, and I've got the general, the road, and police, all broke down what their cost would be, or if we bump down to the 3 million. But again, we'll look at the maintenance garage, have to review that for that increase and the change and, well, yeah, you can see that, well, I know. But this is the only thing that did the change in values, Mike. They didn't do, like in the report here. Mike is looking at the Providence, the sign, the fuel tanks, and the antenna. In 17, it was $1,100, 18, well, 17, $1,167, 18, $1,191, 19, $13,714.
That made a big difference.
Mm-hmm. So that was another big jump. So, Okay, we will have to have a special meeting though with that,
We'll
unless
see what-
Tarma okays
Sure.
until,
Sure. See
I'd
what,
like a resolution to approve that whenever we get that resolved. Or I guess I can go ahead and pay it, and then we can pass a resolution
well,
at the next meeting. or-
yeah,
Well, no, you
maybe
guys
it
gotta
should.
decide.
My
Yeah,
fault
do
is it
that.
probably should be paid, but we don't wanna be without insurance, that's for sure.
Well, no, they said with the new underwriting program that was going, because I sent her an email and I said, I haven't received our renewal. And she explained the
Okay.
underwriting program, so it was fine.
Well, we can surely
And we've
find
been
that
with
out pretty
them,
quickly.
I don't, a long time. Okay. So we'll pass on that resolution for now until we find
Okay.
out some more information. The Montgomery and Purple County Farm Bureau meeting was held on March 29th. Trustee Sim and Trustee Mears attended. Also this morning, I received an email from, with the state auditor, that Keith Faber, the newly elected state auditor, was gonna be at Miami Township. I know Montgomery County and Greene County was there. I'm not sure if there was any other counties around. I think they're keeping it kind of at a small group. We just had a roundtable discussion. Keith Faber just talked about the different types of audits. There's 3 types: basic, AUP, and full audit. Basic is if your budget is less than 100,000, AUP over 100,000 to 5 million. What his plan is to try to help smooth out the cost. When you have an AUP, it's lesser, and then when you go back to a full audit, it increases so much. So his goal is to try to somehow smooth that out so there's not such a big jump in flexible.
The last time we had a full audit was like about $11,000.
Like 10.5,
But
10.6.
if we have good audits, then we can qualify for a lesser one, which we have had good audits.
Correct. I've had 2 AUP audits in my
Kudos to
terms.
Rhonda on that, because we've had good audits.
And you can only have 2 in a row, and then you have to go back to a full audit. You can't continue with that. Full audits, he discussed that, and he also said his goal is to try to somehow get the cost reduced. The first 2 audits I had an IPA, independent firm somewhere around here, Dayton area. Those usually run $125 to $130 an hour. He said state audits are $41 an hour. He is gonna be working with local government to set up an appropriation to assist with cost for townships. I don't know how you qualify that. Again, this is just something that he was, roundtable discussion. The performance audits, those are in addition to your regular audits. You can take out a loan and have a performance audit done. He said it's not working as it should, so he plans to review that as well. So, he did ask us, kind of what we'd like to see change, or what could, some things were, if we could create our own reports. Right now, we just have the reports that are in UAN. It would be nice to put different figures and pull it together for that. Another fiscal officer did say, we need to have continuing education. This was a fiscal officer over in Greene County. So she questioned why trustees didn't need continuing education. So something he's gonna be looking at. So you might have, I don't know when this will come, but so many hours.
CEUs.
Yay.
Yeah. Some of the good things about UAN that another FO said was, if you try to do something in UAN, it'll tell you if you can't do it. You can override that.
Well, Rhonda has had audits where they come back, and she has specifically asked the auditors how something needed to be done. They sent her an email. She saved the email. They came back when they did the audit and said, oh, this is wrong. And she says, oh, no, it's not. Here's your email where you said this is the way I'm supposed to do it. You actually, I think $400 comes in my mind on one figure one time it was gonna cost the township over that, and you're like, and they're like, oh, okay, no, it's not gonna. So,
I had, that was during one of my AUP audits, and I had 5 issues on my report, and I came back to prove that 4 was correct. But then they charged additional money, and I said, they said, is there anything else? And I said, yes, you will waive that additional money because that was your error, not mine. I proved you wrong. So, and they did, they removed it.
That's good.
yep.
I'll be taking UAN, more training, April 17th. It'll be an online class. I received, all the advances have been sent in. At the end of your advances, you get an apportionment sheet like this, twice a year, worst nightmare. So, that is not on your, you won't see that as your revenue yet. I have not receipted that, just to some resolutions here I have to pass prior before receiving that. The Light District, we assessed $1,817. We received $2,180. That is because Paramount Light District, maybe somebody didn't pay last year, they paid this time, so the dollar amount is larger. Of course, you always have Montgomery County fees that you have to subtract. So we're receiving in the Light District $2,011. The trash, we assessed $22,963. We received $18,450 minus Montgomery County fees of $891. So we'll be receiving $17,558 in the trash. Again, the final settlement has not been posted, but at this time, when I do, it'll be a total of $94,466.89. The only reason why I have not posted that yet, and this is where the 2 resolutions come from, the police levy was on the ballot in November of 18. Since the police levy passed, that comes out of the police fund. I cannot do it any other way. It is here listed as election expenses. It is underneath the police. I have to do it that way. So we never had an appropriated line. I cannot do that, just go in. I can do it, but I'm not
But when
in
the auditors
compliance,
come around, then there's a problem.
So I have to wait for the resolution. So that fee for the police levy in November of 18 was $490.80. So I will do a supplemental appropriation, so I just need the trustees to approve that I can move that money.
I'll make a motion that we accept that
I'll second.
supplemental appropriation.
Price,
Yes.
Sim,
Yes.
Mears.
Yes.
And then also another thing, we changed a little bit different here, the UAN fees. Every quarter, it's $762 or 63, somewhere in there. This year, we are dividing that between the general, the road, and the police. I made the appropriation in the road, but I don't know why. I didn't do it in the police, so for $1,016, that'll be the police fee. So, sorry. So, I need another supplemental appropriation to make that account line, so I can.
So moved.
Second.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Why the $4,000 discrepancy between assessed and received? Can you explain that?
Not everybody paid their taxes.
Well, they didn't pay their taxes.
Yeah, that's assessed on those.
We're fortunate in that way, when we say that. Not everybody pays their taxes, but we average about 95% of the people in Perry Township pay their taxes,
Yeah.
correct?
Mhm.
Some areas are a lot less, but we have about 95% paid.
Well, Montgomery County pays us 95%, but we're actually about 98%.
So we're pretty fortunate that people do pay their taxes. Some areas,
So what's the repercussion if they don't?
they get penalties.
Okay.
Yeah.
And eventually get
But,
foreclosed.
yeah, it can, in time, it can get foreclosed.
Okay.
But, you know, in time. some-
I always pay mine.
Well, I know. Yeah. But that, well, yeah, that's a good question.
Thank you.
I still need to do the roll call. Sim,
Yes.
Price.
Yes.
Mears.
Yes.
And I believe that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions for me.
I'm a nitpicker, I apologize.
I,
If they don't pay their taxes, at some point in time, do they catch up and that money comes back to us?
Yeah,
yes.
that's like she explained on the light district. The light district, we had what was that figure, $1,600?
$1,800 do we assess?
$1,800 cost, but 21,
Yeah.
That's what we
2,100
received.
came in. Because some people hadn't paid their taxes the year before, but then when they did pay it, we had additional.
I knew about
That's an example of it.
Because they was gonna try to use Curry B as a launch,
So, yeah.
and put him as a launch.
Is there any other questions for me? Doug, any more?
No, thank you.
Could be.
Road.
Financial assistance for the Perry Township Sheep Road project was approved for $399,959 for improvements. That's widening and resurface. The project agreement will be sent July 1st for signatures for project manager and chief financial officer letters. Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission paperwork has been turned in on road projects that's been completed or started. We go through Montgomery County for a crack seal program, and they have went out for bids, and the successful bid for this year is $331.20 for Amity Road between Crawford and Sulphur Springs.
And if I want to say, they estimated it at 36 cents a square yard?
Yes.
Square yard. It came in at 30 cents, so it's a little bit lower.
And Ron and Brad can tell you about the gas tax a little bit better than I can.
Yeah, Miami Valley Regional Planning's been just keeping us up to date on the gas tax and what the revenue would bring in, even when it was, what they were, first was 18 cents, I think, above the 28 cents. So they sent us the 2020 to 2021 increase. The average, they say, for the gas tax for Perry Township is $90,475. In 17, we brought in $88,696, and 18, $89,727. So we were down a little bit from what their estimate guess was. But for the 10.5 cents per gallon tax and the diesel, for 2020, they project that this will go strictly to the road department. It's $147,205. In 2021, $148,827. Keep driving.
And I believe I'm correct in this. When you buy your plates, you need to specify you are from Perry Township. So that's the way we receive them funds. They ask that, and some people are like, oh, I don't know what township I'm in, but you need to know, let them know. So that's the way we receive some monies. So.
Can I ask a question? Sure. On the road resurfacing, is that gonna be similar to the resurfacing that was done on Hackathorn last year?
No, this is widening and resurface.
Okay.
We're widening the road and
That
resurfacing.
was bad.
Well,
There's a lot of property damage to cars, property.
well,
And plus, they were doing that work on that farmland, and they had big trucks coming
Yeah.
through, and they just ripped it all right back up again. It didn't last through the winter.
before we got started back in '97 on issue 2 projects,
Mhm.
we always did 3 miles a year. So every 6 years, the roads that we maintained were done.
Right.
So we kind of got away from that. Because, the road projects, $400,000 road project, and we got so much in kind we got to put in, it gets too much to trying to do that and the widening. I know there's other solutions, but you're talking, right now, I used to be able to do 3 miles a year for $15,000 on chip and seal. Now it's $19,000 a mile. Well, the slurry seal is $45,000 a mile.
If you do the other style,
Well, that's a
you're looking at
slurry.
380. Well,
No,
I
the
mean,
slurry seal
a
is
pavement type thing.
Right, that's the slurry seal, which is $45,000. So for the tax, to use the taxpayers' money the best is chip and seal. The reason why, Because in the summertime, that tar starts moving and fills in cracks. And if you keep the wire out of the cracks, that's good. I understand what you're saying about the gravel. It's loose when we first started, but now gravel's gone.
Yeah.
But people need to slow down.
Yeah.
I mean, for tech, I can go out and spend $45,000 a mile, but you're not gonna like it if I come back to, road levy. So I've been here almost 35 years and worked with no road levy, and I plan to keep on going that way.
Right. And I understand, the reason I was asking, I know some people that live on Hackathorn, and there was some people that almost got seriously injured because lawnmowers were hitting the gravel, that was flying up in their yards as cars came down the road. And I was wondering that if the gravel, as soon as they put it down, was ending up in the yards and everywhere but the road, how long would it be between applications? And is it less bang for your buck because you're gonna have to do the applications more regularly?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, I probably won't see that road again for 6 years plus.
Okay.
So, and I understand what you're saying, but if people would slow down, they wouldn't throw the gravel either. But, from 30 years ago to now, everybody flies.
Oh.
They fly, so.
I see it on Wolf Creek Pike all the time.
Yep.
All the way up, in
And-
that area, so, and that would be something I would ask that we could get someone parking down there at the triangle again, because haven't seen that in probably about 6 months. And it's, people have gotten really complacent with that, so, just as a side note.
But, I wish they'd slow down. When I do this, I try to tell people ahead of time, but I get my butt chewed out so much.
Right.
But it's just for the money we spend for the maintenance of the roads, it's worth it doing that route than trying to spend $45,000 and coming to the public and says, hey, we need a road levy.
Right. Understand, appreciate the information, thank you.
Went over Keener Road, which that is an issue 2 project for this year, widen and resurface with the engineer, to what trees we have to remove and so forth, and culverts to replace. We're putting the plows away, but salt spreader's still in the truck. In this case, we got that last hurrah. Getting summer equipment out, our trailers and so forth, we put away for the winter, we don't use, getting them out for the summer. Cleaned out the ditch at Amity and Preble County Road, sealed it in, where that tile project was from Amity clear up to Schoolhouse Road. Had a lot of silt in there, took I think 4 truckloads of dirt out of there. We've hauled about 350 gallons of used oil for a used oil furnace. That's another way we try to save money. We've installed a used oil furnace on a grant, so we do burn used oil, and our tank's about full for the winter for starting next year, so we're good there. And cemeteries, seeding and leveling graves, cutting and chipping tree limbs, working on footers for the headstones. Try to get that here in April if weather lets us. We replaced the Eversole Cemetery sign. Had to rebuild, put new posts in, but the sign's original still. And repainted it. Excuse me. And last but not least, vacation leave for April, May, June, and July.
All right.
We'll need a resolution for that,
For
his vacation, April, May, June, did you say July? If you take over 3 days, you have to have a
So,
resolution.
it'll be various times.
Yes.
Yeah.
So moved.
Second.
Sim,
Yes.
Mears.
Yes.
Price.
Yes.
You forget about one thing. Dale, you got this letter, High Public Works?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
I did. About the,
Issue 2, Sheep Road.
Sheep Road, yes. Okay, zoning, Kate.
Okay, March 13th, I contacted Rumpke regarding the complaints, but
Trustee Sims spoke of at the March 12th meeting. Sean Cobb at Rumpke addressed the complaints with both drivers and explained that they need immediate improvement to this area. Any further issues, I'm to let Sean Cobb know right away. March 20, attended the WRCG meeting to discuss the trash contract that expires in September 2020. The second quarter trash bills were mailed on March 28th. They are due on or before May 1 to avoid the late fee. Zoning on March 15th, I checked with Ryan Murphy at Taxis Ohio on the status of the sheriff's auction for 10055 Little Richmond Road. The sale date's not scheduled. The order of sale should be submitted soon, but the auction is still likely a few months out. The account will be noted so that I will be advised when the sale is scheduled. March 20, I attended the solar workshop at UD along with Trustee Sim, Trustee Mears, and Fiscal Officer Rhonda Bankin. On March 31st, I issued a permit for a room addition at 3066 Crawford Tom's Run. There's a BZA meeting scheduled for Thursday, May 2nd at 7 p.m. It's the table decision from the Dull family. And there's a zoning commission meeting scheduled for May 16th at 7 p.m. That's it.
Okay. Please. I want to start out first by recognizing a lot of individuals that has helped stuff Easter eggs over the last two gatherings here. So if I can get that done and out of the way. Is Emma Boomgardner here?
No, she's not.
No. Jean Lewis? Thank you for coming and volunteering a couple of Saturdays and helping us stuff these Easter eggs. All 10 or 15,000, whatever. Rob Lewis? Aubrey Lewis?
He's at work right now.
He's at work right now. You want to take this?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
This is Rhonda. Dolores.
She's big.
Thank you for coming and putting up with all those little kids. Dale.
Thank you.
Kate.
Thank you.
Mindy.
But I'm not done yet.
We'll put to be continued
We're
on
still
here.
stuffing.
Thank you. And then here's one for Uriah
Oh, okay,
and Rachel.
okay.
Rachel is gonna get hers taken away if she brings any more glitter eggs.
Missy.
Thank you.
Things are everywhere.
Dale. Thank you. Cindy. Huh? And then for Ashley. And then Doug and Marie's not here.
You can give those to Dale if you want me to.
Okay. And then Kristen. Thank you. Let's give these guys a round of a hand for showing up and helping us. What's that? Okay. Flyers have been handed out to Brookville School and New Lebanon School. There's somewhere around the neighborhood of 1,800 flyers that have been printed out and handed out. Still have some extra. My plan is to put some out at the gas stations and fast food places here in town. Come August time, I'm looking for a date and time probably for bringing a fishing derby back. That's something I would like to do. And looking somewhere in October to early November for an archery day, going over safety and letting the kids shoot at the targets out on the Diamond Mill. Just a reminder, the Community Education Day is scheduled for May the 4th. The topic is going to be protecting your identity. We sent 2 officers for additional training on crime scenes this week. We have TASER recertification for April 25th, which is a Thursday. Range qualification is set for Saturday, May the 4th. New cruiser we have is at K.E. Rose. The estimated time of completion for that is approximately 6 weeks. Last month we talked a little bit about the Spectrum Internet. That I was waiting for Jeremy to get back with me. Received an email, and I spoke with Jeremy just before the meeting started. Spectrum says that they will extend the line here to the Township building for us. They are asking for a 3-year contract. If we enter into a 3-year contract with them, the cost for this is $39,532.53. Now, our monthly bill that we pay monthly for Frontier right now, that bill would not change as in price going over to Spectrum. If we choose to do this and we do it without the contract, you're looking at $44,532.53 for them to run that line. The internet is becoming more and more of an issue for the police department. I was kicked off the internet the other day about 4 different times while I was trying to complete a report. Couldn't access anything on our server. I wasted a good 5 hours or so just turning everything off, restarting things, rebooting them. It's just, we can't do what we're needing to do. In comparison to the other options that Jeremy had given us, even though this one is $39,000, it's going to be one of the cheapest routes to do.
Has it
Go ahead.
is that in addition to Frontier? Or we're just trading over?
We'll be changing it. We'll be leaving Frontier, and that's their phone and internet, and moving over to Spectrum.
Okay.
Okay, I got a question. You said if we sign a contract, they will extend the line at no cost to us. Is that what you said?
That was what Jeremy had originally explained to me like months ago, because he was waiting for the survey to come back, and that's what he said. When I got the email today about 2:30, and I spoke to him just before, those were the figures that he had sent into his email.
$39,000 is going to cost us to extend that line. Is that correct?
Correct.
Well, there is some problem with the line as it is now anyway, correct? Because we had them out here.
Yeah, it's a phone line.
That's what he's talking about.
Well, but this is gonna be phone also. The phone people were out here, they actually said there's some issues with that line. And I'm not I don't know, I can't technically speak about it all, but the guy explained that there's some issue, and I don't know the terminology of it all, but.
Well, I'm not an internet genius, but I'm no dummy, and when I hear $0 as compared to $39,000, it makes me blink. I don't.
But I'll tell you, Frontier.
Is there no room for negotiation on that?
Service out of Frontier.
I'd asked him if we would enter into a longer contract, if that would help bring that price down, and he said 3 years is the max that they go for their contract.
Man.
He had a customer of his that had to run the line from one side of the street to the other, and they charged $20,000 to run it that short of a distance.
This figure is better than any we've gotten in the past. I think we've heard as much as 100 and some thousand. to get it.
Spectrum
When Cindy and I
has-
bought our house out here, we called, who we called, Spectrum?
Well, it was Time Warner then.
Yeah, Spectrum, same thing.
No.
And
for
they
emergency
told me that
services.
for a mere $135,000, that they could absolutely install Time Warner at our house. And I thought they were kidding. I laughed and then they didn't laugh back. And he said, no, there's no line out there. And he said, if you want to pay to have the line extended out that far, he said, we'll be happy to do it.
It just sounds like a lot of money to me. Is this comparable to what? Is this normal? I mean, it just sounds like a lot of money to me.
I'll tell you what, it's really not. Where I live 935 feet off the road. There's cable at the end of the road. They want that much to come to my house.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, that's.
I mean, Spectrum charged us an arm and a leg to run a
See-
cable, but they had to run one on Island Park for my rescue squad because they're in the middle of nowhere in Island Park, and they didn't charge nearly that much. We got a whole line and internet service through our building, and it was not $30,000.
You wonder footage though, I wonder where they're
It
coming
was-
from to get here.
It was from Riverside Drive to the back of, or from Helena Drive all the way to the back of
Where's the
Island Park.
closest
It was like
port here?
thousands
Right
of feet.
I think
Wow.
Little Richmond Road. I think that's.
Little Richmond.
Little Richmond.
Yeah, 5,280 feet away.
They've got it to the Little Richmond Road now?
I think so.
5,280
Little Richmond
feet.
is Johnsville, the way I understood.
So
But you're looking at a mile to get it here.
A few things to consider is that it wouldn't be a dedicated line. It would be running their infrastructure out here, which means other people in the township would also get quality bandwidth to their houses at no cost. So there is a lot of payoff here as to how that works. It's just, they don't really care about stuff that's outside of cities, usually, because, you know.
It's been an issue here for quite some time, the internet service, I know. At one point in time, we had a large satellite dish out here. I don't know then,
HughesNet or something?
yeah, I don't know what it was, but
I went to that
didn't prove
because
out
I
that
couldn't
way.
get the cable, and Frontier's just, if I walk 10 feet outside my door, I can't get in.
But I think a lot of your leads, reports, and things like that come through that. Am I right or wrong?
We have state reporting software that we get that information from.
I know that if this is a necessary thing, then it's a necessary thing, so we had to have it. I'm just a little shocked by the numbers.
I know, it is a shocking number, but
You
like I
know,
said-
probably not everything's negotiable, but what would be wrong with sending a letter saying, hey, you know, this is for the people, you're gonna make some money coming out here.
You probably tried to negotiate with these people, right?
Yeah.
Or not?
I haven't spoke directly to Spectrum because whenever I put a phone call into Spectrum to talk to somebody, I don't get anybody to call me back.
Yeah. But the fellow you're working with, he has done negotiations on that for us?
Yeah.
Well, like Mr. Lewis said, you know, if they run it that far, look how many homes are gonna be, so maybe we can say, look how many more people you're gonna get. You know, get
But
it
maybe
out.
they already took that in consideration, maybe if they wouldn't have that, maybe it'd be 139.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
it's worth an ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth an ask.
Well, if we have to have it, then we have to have it. You know, you can't spend 5 hours trying to get back on, in the loop, it's not sensible to do that, so. That's a lot of.
Yeah, it is, I mean, it's a lot.
But it's
Having good
2009.
internet can save you a lot of money too on security and all that
Absolutely.
stuff, if it weighs into it.
Double check or keep checking and then let us know.
Okay.
I wonder how far reaching that internet service would be.
Depends on which direction.
Where the line stops.
The cable is coming from New Lebanon or coming from?
I think they're a mile each
I
direction.
don't know, like I said, the way I understood it was at Little Richmond and Johnsville, Brookville.
They take it, they showed me a letter, they sent me one time, I complained because I couldn't get it out there, you know, and they said that they take into consideration the amount of people that could buy from them when they go down through there. As that, they don't like Little Richmond Road, they don't like Brownville Road, they don't like the roads where there's a lot of houses far apart.
Sure, we're too far apart.
Yeah, they want the plats, you know.
And
So-
it's a problem nationwide.
Sure.
Rural internet service, it is a problem. I get I got magazines that's got it in all about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all over the country, and
But if he has the same frontier I got, I don't know how you can run.
now, just another thought, I don't know, would there be any type of grant out there that would get us that? I don't know. I mean, it's just a thought.
I don't,
I can check with Luana on that, see what she says.
That'd be it.
I got
On
See if I
the
can
police
do
part of
something.
it, you just might.
Maybe be an
able to get
emergency
something.
service, you might
Well, you
get
have some emergency service, that's what.
That's what I was
township emergency service.
Well,
call.
the grant process is very limited and it's very specific, because I've been dealing with this all along. And the only thing I can do is make contact with the lady that's in charge of the grants, and if she doesn't have that portion of it, she'll direct me to someone who does, and I can check on that. But communications is very important here, we need that, and if we can get a grant, I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll put in a call tomorrow. I'll find out if we can, let's see if we can do something about that.
that's good.
See if there's any help available.
That'd be, that's it.
Yes.
This particular portion of the police report, I'd like to table that.
Maybe we can look at that with the insurance stuff at the same time as we do that.
Special
We have to have a
meeting.
special meeting.
Yeah,
We'll have some more information. I mean, I don't mean to delay it, but.
No.
we need to do this as quickly as possible on
I agree.
both things.
I agree.
So what I'll make that phone call tomorrow and see if I can get something done as far as a grant. And who knows how long that will take. But it may be something reimbursable, I don't know. I'll just have to talk to Tawana about that and see what she has to say. Like I said, she will direct me to the proper entity that will be handling that, so, if there is one. I don't know if there is one for communications, but I will find out. And then, as soon as we find out about that and contact Otarma, we should probably schedule a special meeting immediately.
Just a couple more things I have. Some of the calls for services that we've had, we've handled 2 domestic violence calls within the last 30 days. 3 residential alarms, some medic assist, and mutual aid calls to surrounding agencies around us. The K-9, we've been called out numerous of times. We've assisted Brookville, Trotwood, the Sheriff's Department, Range Task Force, and Clayton. With those, we have pulled out marijuana. With the one that Dale and I went on, the guy was actually trafficking. He had crack, cocaine, meth, heroin, marijuana, and fentanyl, all individually packaged and ready to go. Also took firearms out. The vehicle, I don't want to speak a whole lot because I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure the vehicle has been seized. There was some cash involved in that. Once that goes through the entire court system and they figure out what they're doing with the vehicles and such, Perry Township will receive a portion of the cash and of if they sell the vehicle and everything else. So don't hold me all to what's going to happen with that vehicle because I don't know yet. I don't really want to speak out of turn, but that's one of the options there. Pulled fentanyl and crack cocaine out of the car in Clayton. He was there also distributing. So the stuff's around here is relatively close.
Very impressive, very impressive. I will say, I saw that dog in action, and that dog it's very impressive. I mean, he did his procedure, and the dog indicated the drugs, and you know, I'll just say, you know, he brought the dog back to the vehicle, and the dog was put back in there, and then they removed a box from the vehicle, and the dog went back over to the box and indicated immediately again there was drugs, and very impressive, very impressive.
Moving on to our personnel, I have 3 individuals that are going to be interviewed within the next 30 days. One of those applicants is seeking full-time, so that'd be another full-time individual out here. If that individual works out, it'll be him, Stephen Viscardi, and myself that are full-time currently. And I have one applicant that's coming in tomorrow for his final interview, so he'll be part-time. So we're getting our personnel and our strength built back up there. It's taking a little bit of time. But like I told you from the beginning, I want to make sure I got good quality officers out on the road. And that's what we're shooting for.
What's our count now?
Right now I have 8. That's including myself. So,
We do have some resolutions. We need to approve Officer Goop for his pay increase to 16 an hour.
So moved.
Second.
Price,
Yes.
Sim,
Yes.
Mears.
Yes.
And then Officer Piscardi, he was at 15 an hour effective February 11th, and his pay increase as of March 25th is 17 an hour.
So moved.
Second.
Price,
Yes.
Sim,
Yes.
Mears.
Yes.
And then Officer Douglas pay at $10 an hour effective February 11th while he's in field training.
So moved.
Second.
Price,
Yes.
Sim,
Yes.
Mears.
Yes.
And that involves our step in pay.
Step, yeah. And then also, we need a resolution, which I did not put on the agenda, for Justin, I say his last name, Deringer?
Oh, Derringer.
Derringer.
Oh.
He was released on February 4th.
So moved.
Second.
Sim,
Yes.
Price. Price,
Yes.
Mears,
Yes.
and then Chaplain Laird Baldwin. Do we need to do this? He wasn't paid, but.
He was, I don't know how he was hired in. That was way
He's
before.
not paid, but.
I make a motion to accept his resignation.
Second.
Sim,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Mears.
Yes.
And I think that just took some time with Chief Littleton and me and what the auditors are requesting, and for us just to get working together on the hiring and practices and pay and what auditors require, and so we've communicated now and we know the procedure from now on, how we have to go about.
Did you want to do a resolution at this time for Mr. Marlowe as far as the towing and?
Yes.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
Okay. I don't know how I want to say this. I don't know. Mr. Marlowe, got anything you want to say here?
Yeah, I actually, my name's Jim Morrow. I've lived in Perry Township since 1972. I live out on Clayton Road. I'm an auto mechanic, but I have a towing. I do some towing. My dad had a big towing company, and me and my brothers have always done that. And I had come to the chief and to Dell a while back and asked him if I had heard that Terry Seagrave down in New London, who does all the towing, was selling their place. And I asked if he did sell, would they consider me, since I live right here on Clayton Road. And we do a lot of police towing for some of Montgomery County, Sioux, Brookville, and Clayton, and some of the state patrol right now between Brookville and 75. And I'd like to kind of get off the highway. I'm getting older, not getting younger, and tow a little bit around here where I would think it from my house, any place in Perry Township wouldn't be no more than 3 miles, and that would be like Christmas for me. So I had made a request, and I also brought in a proposal showing all my insurance and everything. Like, I'm insurance poor on the trucks. So I made a proposal to them, and I think that they're willing to accept it. So if I do get your towing, that would be I'll be prompt, and I'll be very honest, and treat everybody good, everybody in Perry Township. As long as I've been here, I feel like they're all neighbors anyway, so that's what it's about. That's the proposal.
We already had your service. I mean, you took our accident car to the K roads. Yeah, the strip of parts.
Yeah, they were pretty impressed when it was dripping oil on their new paint. They're brand new.
Well, but
yeah.
And I guess you said you were just going to do that for us.
I'm of the belief, and some people might laugh if they want to, but if you live in a township and you can do something for that township, that you should. I thoroughly believe that. And they asked me to take the cruiser that was in an accident over to Katy Rose. And I did, and I said that I won't bill them for that. You know, I don't wanna get ate up with 10 of them a month, but occasionally, 1 or 2 a year, or something like, I have no problem with that.
And I will
If I'm
say-
doing the towing.
I will say thank you for doing it.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate it. We just
So-
want to see if you can really make it down to the roads
With-
Since it was already.
I will make a motion that we use Mr. Marlowe to, as our towing needs arise.
I second the motion.
Sim,
Yes.
Price,
Yes.
Mears.
Yes.
Thank you.
Did you, Mr. Lipton, have anything else? Or?
That's it?
The visitor sheet is on there. I don't know if any visitors would like to speak. Ron, if you'd like to.
Well, Mr. Fire Chief, I can't think of his name.
Mr. Fire Chief.
I'm sorry, it wasn't coming to me. It's right on your shirt. I didn't know if you had anything you wanted to add. I mean, you're, you know.
The only thing I got is the open house for the fire department is April 27th from 9 to 11. There'll be coffee and donuts that morning.
That was April. Did you get again April?
April 27th.
I heard coffee and donuts, I did.
Yeah, then it got my attention.
9 to 11. Yeah, that's also community garage sale day in New Lebanon as well.
Okay.
We had some people that indicated they wanted to speak. Clinton, did you want to speak?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I have a couple questions I'd like to ask. First of all, have you and do you remain 100% confident in your decision to hire Chief Littleton?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Second question I have for you is, do you think you could have possibly done a more thorough or complete background investigation?
No.
No?
No.
You don't feel that way?
I'd have to hear that again, what you just said there.
Do you feel as though you could have performed a more thorough or complete background investigation?
No, I feel it was thorough.
Then my final question is, whose responsibility is it to investigate any allegations of misconduct amongst township employees?
I don't know, I'm not sure. I guess it would depend on what level of allegation or what it would be.
Unknown.
Pardon?
So you do not know?
Well, it means.
Well, I think it would depend on what
It
level,
would come to the trustees.
what level of allegation it would be, to how far you would.
I mean, what are you talking about? If
Like
it-
possible policy violations or anything like that?
Well, like if something would happen on the road crew, you would handle that unless it was severe,
Right,
correct?
and then the trustees.
Right.
Right.
Same,
So it
same
goes
with
up
Chief
to
Littleton.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
It's our responsibility.
Thank you.
Clinton. And Doug?
Yes.
Yeah, Doug.
Before the meeting, and y'all didn't get to hear it, but the intersection down here, Ron told me that he's been talking to the county, and they're talking about putting up bigger lights.
Right.
So it's more easily seen, and they're also talking about putting down rumble strips, which nobody likes rumble strips, but if it'll save a life, then thank God it's worth it in my book. That's the first comment. Second comment is I'd like to thank Tim, Chief. I'd like to thank you for letting me know that I did the right thing when I transferred from Frontier, which Mr. Marlowe says Frontier's not worth much.
Not to me.
I went from 1.2 to 50 on my download speed. And my price went down from $160 to $117. And I live there in Johnville, Brookville, and Old Dayton. I could run a wire right up to it. Cost me $49.
What did you go to?
Went to Spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, if you go to Spectrum, you gotta put a UPS on the box because the cable comes into the box and that's how your telephone comes out. And if you don't put a UPS on there when power goes out, you got nothing.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, Doug.
You bet.
And Jason.
Yes, thank you. I did have some questions about the IT work. I was just gonna circle back to that because we had talked when Jeremy came in. And I was wondering if the talk that he had with Spectrum included your possible replication to a secondary site if you've identified that site and what your bandwidth requirements would be between two locations? And is that part of the requirement that he was talking with them about initially?